Well, first and foremost, um, from the bottom of my heart, from the bottom of my family's heart, I want to thank the Miami Dolphins organization. I also want to, because I am a true believer, I've prayed about this, I've prayed on it. I want to thank my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, for allowing me this opportunity. I want to thank the Miami Dolphins organization. I want to thank the people that are in this room. I want to thank Mike McDaniel for believing in me, for entrusting this role in me as a leader of this team. I want to thank Chris Greer and Brandon Shore for the immense amount of pressure that they've had to go through and whatnot to get this deal done. I also want to thank Mr. Ross, for entrusting me this opportunity of leadership, for entrusting this role for me on this team, and trusting that, I'm the guy that's going to lead this team to what we want to do in winning playoff games and winning championships. I also want to thank our coaches, the coaches in our room. I want to thank, Darryl Bevel for helping me throughout this process. It hasn't been an easy process, but, we've had many conversations. We've done a lot of things that, have been good, a lot of things that we needed to work on together, and I'm very grateful for that relationship. I also want to thank Frank Smith, our OC, in collaboration with our head coach, Mike. I want to thank my teammates, throughout this process. Those guys have been very, very supportive of me and my family throughout that. And, as a player, you couldn't ask for more, especially from your guys. So we're looking forward to this year. I'm super excited and ready for the first question.
For you personally and in your career?
Well, we haven't won the games that we wanted to win. Deep into the playoffs, get deep into the playoffs. Win the games that matter. That's what I would say. All of that is cool, but I could have been the worst, had the worst passer rating. I could have, threw for 1,000 yards. But if we were in those games and we were winning those big time games, and we got to go and win the championship, I'd trade all of that. I'd trade all of that for that.
When you reflect back on all those throws with your dad growing up to this moment.
Now that all of this is done, this is behind us, we know, heavy is the crown, so whoever's wearing that, right now, I'm the highest paid employee in this office. I got to get my, whatever together. I got to get that right and get our guys moving in the direction that we need to go, to be able to do those things. So.
Tua's deal? Yeah. So it's whatever, the deal's done, and that was kind of the hope. I'm fired up for the organization. Really fired up for Tua, and the work he's done to receive something like that. I think it's a cool validation for sure. And I think what's been cool about the process is, I think Coach Bevel's done an outstanding job with Tua to connect to the fact that, hey, whatever's going on, our focus is what we're going to do today and developing our game to, make the ground, make the gains that we expect in the offseason from Tua. So the from my perspective, I'm happy, but I also expected it to get done. And now that it's done, it's about moving forward because, it's maybe a handshake and a smile, but it's not a celebration. It's a cool point for the organization to move forward, but moving forward, we are.
Mike, like it or not, people will look at this and say, "Oh, that kind of beat."
Well, it's a pretty hot place to be a quarterback in the National Football League. And so you get a lot of reps at seeing how people respond to things. I think that is absolutely the nature that you should expect, and something that I know Tua is very, very aware of. I think that's one of the cool things about sports is, Tua can know that, his teammates know that, and the they already have pressure and expectations for themselves. So, I think, just as long as you acknowledge that, which, quite frankly, Tua has shown me that throughout the entire offseason, that he knows what time it is. And fortunately, him and all of his teammates can go out and determine, whatever the narrative is built upon by the way they play. So we focus on the way we play, understanding that we will always hear about the results, regardless of what they are. So why don't we try to move the needle on what those results are, so then we and focus on that and nothing else, because that's what our jobs are.
Mike, head coach success in the NFL is most often tied to. How do you feel about that?
I feel outstanding about the fact that I feel really good about the team. I feel really good about Tua, and I will always be determined by the success or failure of the team, as it should be. It's black and white. Your success or failure. It's cool about sports. There's a lot of variables in that, but that's not something I think you run from. You embrace it because you worry about what you can control, and then when things that you can't control happen, you adjust from there and can keep it moving. But there's plenty of people that could be, a head coach of a team and lose a ton of games. Okay, you have to win and be successful. And that's I knew that the very first day I got the job, and so whatever is coming with whatever narrative and extracurricular thing doesn't really bother me.
Mike, not to put too fine of a point on it, but